So, you guys, I want to talk about something that's really quite dangerous. You know how our phones is our, everything, but it's not. But, some people think it is. So, let's say you were sick in the hospital or something happened to you. God forbid. But your phone is everything, right? And this is like evidence. A few days ago, I was talking to my son, supposedly in Brazil. It could have been a three-way with his dad in Brazil and Alexander here with DHR, and them testing to see if I'm really God who can see everything. I don't know. Whatever. They sent my son to Brazil. That's illegal because we haven't even been to court yet. For one. For two, I was talking to my son, and then his dad took over the conversation, and we were in the middle of a conversation through WhatsApp, and all of a sudden my phone started acting out. My friend James gave me this phone, my friend James, who works for the government, and I trust my friend James, otherwise I wouldn't be here, even though this is not the best lighting. But it is what it is. I'm grateful to have a roof over my head because I sustain myself. I clean house, I cook, I do laundry, I put it away. I'm a housekeeper. and you may think, why in the world did this woman leave Mobile to go to Montgomery to be a housekeeper? I didn't. I came here so that I could get a job that was not paying $3 an hour with a mask. This before COVID. Anyway, you know what has happened. So, I'm grateful because I can pay my way doing what I do. I cook. I'm good at it. Okay? I was cooking for my son healthy meals. That's why he had healthy skin. Even though I'm not the world's healthiest person because of all the stress that I've been through. You know that stress can kill. If you have a team of people who are wanting you, or it's like this. Let's build a restaurant. Let's call it whatever it is. These are the plans for the restaurant, right? We're going to draw. We're going to hire an architect to, to draw it out with his team. And so you have a rough draft. You have a rough draft and you work with an architect and you tell them or her, what you want. And the architect, it's like, yeah, no, yes, that's doable. No, that's not doable. That's challenging, but we'll see. I can talk with my colleagues and see. And then you go back and forth until you agree. Once you agree, then that's the plan, right? Then the workers build it. It's out of the architect's hands as far as what he or she can do. Now it's a matter of overseeing what the workers are going to do, the engineer and the workers. So Chespirito, my friend Chespirito, he wanted me to watch a certain episode, and he's like, watch this, and it was about this particular, how everything kind of trickles down, the responsibility, right? So it's like it's a domino effect. So it has to go right at all levels of the responsibility. Okay? So once it's out of your hands, if you will, but you still have to oversee. That's how God, He has given us a plan, and He's like, okay, I'm here it is. Now it's your turn to do it. And God is the helping hand, but we still have to do it because we're God's helpers too. Okay? So, when somebody said, Miss Ballerino is potentially suicidal, whether that report was true or not, that's what the paper trail, or that was the excuse to pick up my son, only to have a paper trail. So that was their hope. I hope that woman kills herself. Because we're going to make it a living hell for her. Because having served my country, oh, but I'm a terrorist? What am I? A bug? Am I a bug in your scope that you need to squish? Or am I a bug that's getting stronger? You know, what is a bug? Let's talk about bugs. I don't like roaches. I don't. I despise roaches so much. They can go outside and eat in the trash can out there, but I don't want them in here. A roach is a roach. It's not a person. It's a pest. It's not a person. People aren't bugs. Whether they're black or white or natives or Jews or wherever they're from. People are not bugs. We cannot treat people like they're bugs. But what is a bug? Computerly speaking, for a lack of a better term, when you're talking about a bug in the computer, that is a virus. When you're talking about a bug in our bodies, that's a virus, but it can also be a probe. When you're talking about a probe, you're talking about a mole. When you're talking about from a CIA point of view, an investigative point of view. So you've got a mole or you've got a bug. Everybody's got bugs on each other according to the CIA. We've got CIA people at the upper management coming out during these interviews and clearly stating that we have bugs on them and they have bugs on us, and that's the new war. Yeah, and then we've got scientists with federal permission and federal money funding public work that's publicly published for all to see how they can genetically modify organisms. And then Dr. Fauci went as far as to say, but we won't fund if it's not public. But the problem that we have with being public is that the enemy, the terrorists, could steal our data and use it for harm. So, okay, folks, Dr. Fauci came out in a conference in 2012 with his colleagues. Some of these colleagues are not even scientists or doctors, healthcare providers, okay? They're not. They are mathematicians, okay? String theorists. These people know about computers and numbers and sequence and the order of things and how to, like string theory, it's also like music. So this is why I believe that these people need a hobby with music. I was a simple mom, taking care of my son in what I thought was my house that was decorated in order the way I wanted it. I didn't need to hire an architect or a special designer to help me. I like to design my house very simple and orderly, decluttered, so that I can have room to put my son's pictures on the wall, so that I can see my life that belongs together. You understand? So, what Dr. Fauci came out during this conference was stating clearly to his colleagues at international level. He said, we cannot fund work that is not publicly published. But the problem that we have is that the terrorists can steal our data to, develop and use it for harm. That's a bunch of baloney. Sausage, and you know it! Basically, what they're saying is we're going to tell them how to do it, so what will be, will be. And you've got people in this conference who are not even healthcare professionals. You're not going to find these super intelligent people, because they're super intelligent. You're not going to find them wiping somebody's butt in their hospital bed, or inserting an IV or a catheter, or doing vital signs, or helping with feeding of a patient, or turning a patient so they don't get bed sores. You're not going to find these super intelligent people doing this kind of work, because they don't do that. So if they don't know about health care, and they don't know about being a patient and serving people in bedside manner and being on the other end as a patient, how the hell are you supposed to be making decisions for our welfare and well-being? And why is our government allowing this? Get your heads out of your ask me no more questions, and I will tell you no more lies. I'm sick and tired of the hypocrisy in our faces. My things have been in the storage unit for over a year. Okay? I'm sitting here in this humble chair. Okay? Because I have to keep some kind of a posture. Sitting here, it's not easy. Somebody has to sit so that they can do their work. Whether it's write, report, highlight, read, all of that. It takes time. Document, because if you don't keep up with these people who are on a mission with their paper trail, okay, then your truth will never be heard, because they don't let you speak in court. And it's like the judge, it's like this is a joke. The judge let me speak after 4 years. I'm not an attorney. I've never claimed to be, but I wanted to represent myself, because back then I only had like just a few papers. I said, here's my, my psychological evaluation. Here is my, but not the actual results, because they wouldn't give them to me. I said, here's my psychological evaluation paperwork that I filled out, their questionnaire, which was a 12-page questionnaire asking me very personal questions that were totally irrelevant, okay? Totally irrelevant to why Alexander was picked up. Like when I lost my virginity. Oh yeah. Very disrespectful. So I provided the judge with my parenting class, which was an 8-week program with a certificate. I provided the judge with Alexander's grades before Alexander was picked up. Straight A student. I provided the judge with, that was it. Like, I'm not suicidal. But they had a plan. They have a plan. Because that's how they do it. You know? It's like this, and that. Because they know it's a domino effect. Okay? They know it's a domino effect. So they do this, and then everything else falls into place. Their place. And when something doesn't fall into their place, they will make it. They will hire people, and they will spend more money to knock you over. They will spend more money to do more harm to you and everything that comes from you, your work and your child. To sabotage your health, sabotage your work, sabotage you and the way that you make a righteous living. You hear me? Anyway, I was on the phone with Darciso, Alexander's father. He's in Brazil, that I'm aware of, because I'm not God. I have never claimed to be God. I said God is with me, and I am with God. And there's a difference. I am my Father's daughter just the way He made me. And I may not be professional because some of you don't want to polish me. No, you want to doll me up. Drag me through the mud. Cloud me. I like clouds, but there's a different kind of cloud. When something doesn't have clarity, it's cloudy. But there's a different kind of cloudy. Okay? I don't mind clouds. It's a different kind of cloud. So I was on the phone with him, and Alexander could have been in a 3-way. I don't know, but the thing is, they were supposed to be together. And I thought to myself, if my son has been sent to Brazil already, which is what they wanted. See, they want to, because all the phone calls are monitored and recorded. Okay? So when it's broadcasted, Miss Valerino is saying, I just want you to take good care of Alexander. It's because he's already been sent to Brazil, supposedly. Right? Now that was my choice. Because his father did not pay child support for the entirety of my being a single poor mom struggling. No problem, okay? No problem. The bottom line is my phone started acting out. Like somebody's taking your deck of cards and shuffling them in your hand. This was in my hand, and somebody, because all phone calls are monitored and recorded, my phone started acting out, and then it pulled up Facebook, and it pulled up my friend Gene, his profile, and then it captured a photo of his face. So, if something were to happen to me, then they could look at my photos that are saved, and it could be random photos of random things that may or may... See, my friend Gene is my friend Gene. I've met him. I've had, coffee with him. I'm not obsessed over people. It's like, but if somebody saw his face, like, I actually took a photo of his profile to have it on my personal phone so that I could look at it all the time. You see, folks, the danger that we're facing nowadays with this technology. I honestly, I wish that I could just have a phone that goes ring, ring, and you answer the phone. You don't have to worry about radiation. And your child can be in front of you playing with his toys. And when you go out, you can have a cell phone for emergencies, like a prepaid phone or something for emergencies only. And then when you get home, you ask, did anybody call or whatever? But nowadays, this is our everything, and there's a danger in that. Okay? The CIA head person from the CIA, she's female, she came out and said that now basically you have to have your life on your phone as an agent. Okay? This is now we have to be thinking like we're agents because we're being treated like such, but by our own country. As if we were invading another country, that same kind of treatment that they would get. Like, who are you and who are you working for? And you're treated like you're a terrorist, like you're a person to be searched because they want to know what you're doing. You know, folks, I served in the military. I was honorably discharged. I'm not lying about who I am. When I worked at P.F. Chang's, I had a couple come in, and you could tell that this couple was like they were instigating. Okay, and I didn't have those kind of customers on a regular basis, but this couple was sitting by the bar, and I didn't serve. That was not my section to serve. But this particular day, I was given that section. Like, can you please take care of this couple for me? And they were instigating. They were asking me personal questions, and they asked me about my last name, and they were like, "Oh, that sounds like a Italian mafia name." And it's like, you know, folks, this is ridiculous. If I have Italian in me, it's like very far back in my ancestry, very far back. My mother raised me to believe that I had more Italian in me than I did, because she probably didn't know. But make a long story short, you know, it doesn't matter. You cannot be doing this to one another. First of all, that was a set-up situation. Okay? It was like, I go over there and tend to these people, and these people are being disrespectful to me, and I'm serving them their food. And they're already making all these assumptions about who I am, and asking me personal questions and being disrespectful. All of this is a work of Satan. The way that our American culture, and then when people come over here from other countries, it will be a matter of time before they start acting the same way. With the bullying, America has become a bullying society. And then very easily fooled. Like, it's like, okay, this is in, this is out, this is in, this is out. And, you know, you just very easily by what you're seeing. Very easily fooled by what you're seeing. So, I want you to know that nobody loves my son Alexander more than I do. Not Auntie from Mississippi, not Auntie from Texas. These women and their husbands or family did not come to see Alexander the entirety of the time that I was by myself, struggling. They didn't, I wasn't advertising that I was struggling. I wasn't, until Alexander was picked up by DHR. Because I felt that it was an urgent need to voice out that these people had basically kidnapped my kid. And you know, these women, they don't care. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to get involved because They came here illegally and they got situated, and they don't want to jeopardize that. And it's like, well, it's already done. We're already here. You know, before I became pregnant with Alexander, it was pointed out to me that, you know, that they were getting WIC. They were giving WIC for the parents who came from other countries in Texas. Okay? And it was I was being encouraged by people like, oh, get on food stamps and get on, you know, my neighbors on Sage Avenue. Yeah, because I couldn't find a job. I was told God will provide. You know, there's food stamps and there's, you know, WIC, and, you know, it was all planned and orchestrated, folks. And some people would ask me in a laughing matter, what are you doing here in Mobile? Do you know what you're doing here in Mobile? It's like, do you know? Folks, some of these churches will pay more money so that my message wasn't out of me. They wanted to sabotage my message, corrupt it, because this is a war. Okay? Just like bugs in the system, the CIA is saying they have bugs on us, we have bugs on them, and this is the next, you know, war, the next nuclear, the way that we're going to be fighting war instead of nuclear. This is the next type of war. It's just like these biological weapons. All of this with government money. Who suffers? The people. The people that they're supposed to be protecting. So when these agents who are trained to go and spy on somebody else, go in the to and from, are captured by the other country, you know, it's like, but now, what is wrong, it's right, and what is right is wrong. I feel that our governments, our agencies, national security agencies, need to understand, just like it is our national security to protect and defend our people, we should not be probing into another nation, because that is their national security. So we don't want to do unto others what we don't want done unto us. Does that not make sense to you? What part of that do you not understand? If you don't want people to come in here and invade your country because they're the enemy, then why are you doing it to other people? A lot of our agents were killed in China a few years ago, CIA agents. Where was the United States to rescue their agents? You send these people out there to their death. The same thing with war. You send people, serve your country, serve your country. You send them out there to their death. But are you there for them when they're injured, if they make it alive? Why are we treating each other like we're prisoners of war? Like we are terrorists. You know how many terrorist groups we have here in America and in the world, but here in America, that are considered terrorist groups? Why are they terrorists? Okay? Are they defending something, or am I a terrorist? Please prove it to me that I am, so that you can justify your treatment. Okay? You can't. My emails are there. You cannot alter them, and I have nothing to hide and nothing to fear. I am balancedcookie@yahoo.com. I've never once threatened any of you. When my son Alexander was taken from me, it was based on allegations that I wanted to hurt myself. Then what they brought up in court was, well, where's your other son? Who has custody of him and why? The thing is, when Jacob was taken from me, the same thing happened. I had administrators okay, from the school system, and from these people just did not want me to speak about this in the school. Okay? I came to my son Jacob's school, not with the Bible, but with a book that talked about the creation of God. And I was reading it in a little corner in the cafeteria with my son, just my son and I. And the children heard and they gathered. And the teacher's assistant said, Miss Valerino, please put that book away because we can get in trouble. We're not supposed to be talking about God. It's illegal. This is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to have a transgender advisor who is dealing with kids and psychology. Okay? First of all, I'm not confused about who I am. I am female, and there's a Yeshua in me, and that's the male side of me. Just like males have a Jerusalem in them, and that's the female side in them. That does not mean that they have to be a transgender. It is about balance. Whether you're gay or straight is irrelevant. You are who you are. It is your God-given freedom because He's your judge. And if it's within you, you reach in that intimate place of yourself that only you can go. And you say, face to face to yourself and with the Spirit of God, who am I? And if you're gay, by all means be. But this does not mean that you have to be changing your sex, because you may regret it. And these mother suckers know it. They just want to generate patients of the future who are all traumatized because they did something in a hasty manner. I personally don't want to be wearing a spacesuit because, for example, yesterday, I'm going to be brutally honest here because I'm going to be brutally honest. Yesterday, I was at the store. I had just eaten dinner, and I started walking about, and it stimulated my gut, and I had to use the restroom. Like yesterday, okay? Like, I got to go now. So I was like, okay, you just hold on, you just hold on, you just hold on. And, you know, I held it as best I could, and then I got to the restroom and I did my business, okay? But can you imagine having a spacesuit, whether you're in outer space or that you think you are in outer space and maybe you're in some other dimension? Because anything can be recreated, you know. Okay, so here I am. I'm like, okay, I gotta go do my business, okay? Just like when people do the squats, you know, the Taibo squats or whatever, the squats, you just go in there and do your business and done. Can you imagine having a spacesuit? Just imagine it. Okay. Okay. We are here on Mother Earth. We need to get back down to Earth. Literally get our heads out of our scopes out of Uranus and be on Earth and take care of this business right here, okay? Because if this were my house, it would look totally different. I would have this house totally different, okay? Now, this little guy, I like this little guy. He's cute, okay? He's really cute. He's precious, 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 okay? So I'm gonna put him right here. I'm gonna say that this background is not mine because, with all due respect to I'm talking about this background. Okay? Now, let's look at this. Okay. Believe in me, I see Paul and Jeremiah out that window, okay? I do. Believe in me. I'm not here in the luxury. I pay my way. I'm about to cook dinner, okay? I'm not here just smooching off the people, getting my hair done and my nails done and having a good time, okay, without my son, because I'm just so lazy. I just want to sit on my butt all day because, honey, if you think this is comfortable, I want you to try it for 1 hour. No, try 10 hours, yeah? Okay. Because I can do it. I can do it. Because somebody has to do it. Okay? So you have to sit just so. Okay? So that you don't gain too much weight. Because that's why I don't eat a whole lot. Because I don't have a lot of physical exercise. I invited my friend James to the gym. And he didn't want to come with me. Because I'm a good influence. You know? But he didn't want to do it. So I was like, you know what? I need motivation. I need a gym buddy. This is why years and years ago, I was doing Taibo and Madonna Grimes and Pilates out of my house in Brazilian workout. I wasn't inviting everybody and their brother to my house because then, you know, anything can be taken out of context. People will start saying that when they're invading your home and buying and selling what is not theirs, they can turn around and say that you're the one that was out there advertising, false advertising, when you're like, you know, excuse me, but you know, I wasn't buying and selling anything to anyone, okay? The older gentleman club or whatever, okay? I'm just here to tell y'all, I am not looking for a sugar daddy. Never have. Okay? I have my own God-given intelligence. If I'm with somebody, it's because I love that person. Okay? When I met Alexander's father, he was an illegal immigrant and he was poor. Construction worker. Okay? His family from Mississippi told me, well, why don't y'all consider getting married? That way he can bring his daughter from Brazil. You know? And I was like, well, let's do that. Because I was offered a second opportunity to have a child. Okay? Because of everything that I had been through with Jacob. I had a void and I needed to be a mama. And I did not leave the South so I wouldn't be far from Jacob. The only time I left to go to Texas was to get a second opinion after Alexander's circumcision. Okay? I got my second opinion, then I came back because I wanted to be close to Jacob. His family in Texas had a totally different mentality, you know, but the auntie from Texas did not come to the United States with her husband. No, she left him behind. And she had a little friend over here. No, but, you know, it's like, I'm telling you people, okay? These other people judging me ain't perfect. They ain't. They didn't serve in the American military. They didn't swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, so help me God. And I don't have a problem with illegal immigrants. The only thing that I am pointing out is like, hey, if people are going to come here, we need to make sure we have enough for our own people, first and foremost, whether they're illegal or legal. And if they're going to be illegal, we don't need to be exploiting the illegals and give them the right to work here legally. You know, honor that tax ID or whatever, but it's so to reduce the number of identity theft that we have, because this is a national security issue. But what you see in the FBI most wanted, some of these are moms who took off with their kids to their country of birth. But my son, who was born in America to an American citizen, was taken out of the country because why? Do you see? I've had people from Lebanon and Cuba telling me, well, time goes by really fast. I wouldn't leave my kid. I would just stay right here. What is this? Exploitation. Cuba doesn't have any communism anymore. People come here and they want me to be okay with being oppressed and exploited and demoralized and devalued in y'all's faces, and it's okay for me, but it's not okay for them to get that treatment from their countries they came from. Do you see that bullying mentality that has developed here in America? These people come, and before you know it, they start thinking like that. This is a bullying, unacceptable mentality. So I was on the phone with Narciso the other day, and I was telling him, take good care of Alexander, because it's like these people have already done whatever. I just didn't want to be bitter and making it worse for Alexander. Alexander did not need to go through this DHR for 4 years. Okay? First of all, my neighbor's daughter, Charity, she was telling me, Miss Susan, as soon as you get your son, leave. Okay? Charity was not even attending church. But during that time period, she was talking about church and church and church, you know, during that time period, but she wasn't even going to church herself. All of this is propaganda, folks. It's like, I'll go to church when I need help, and then that's it. When they help me with my situation. My son was being used for collateral for other people to get out of the system. Okay? Because it's a number of kids in the system that counts. Miss Miller was telling me that she had somebody in her family, a family member, that had been in trouble with the law as a teenager, and that she was trying to, that was over or whatever. You know, it's like, okay, but is this like a favor for a favor here? What is going on? When I was living with Mr. and Mrs. Miller during the December of 2017, there was a lot of like mystery going on at the table. Like, we were waiting for, you know, the guest's son to arrive, and I thought that these people had a surprise for me, and that they actually had picked up Alexander to bring him over to be with us. And it was the friend's son, who was best friends with her grandchild, who had been, you know, had the issues. And it's like, okay, my son and I were led to believe that we were going to be reunited in August of 2017. And then Miss Fluker yanked him away from me without me signing an ISP in the court after we saw Referee Gant. Referee Gant didn't have to keep my son away from me because I was not potentially suicidal. Okay, then they reset the court date, and then that's when the court-appointed attorney was saying, well, let's file a motion so that it can be heard in front of Judge Naaman. This whole thing was planned and orchestrated, folks. All for dirty money to exploit my son. Then his father was saying, well, we've got 2 houses, and we have a summer house and 2 cars. It's like, I didn't say that. Okay, but this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, folks. It is the buying and selling of people in our faces, and you think everything is so entertaining. And all the suffering, okay, that people suffer, you think it's just nothing to you. But if it were your suffering, when it's your suffering, you want God to understand your suffering. You want God to come down here to your level and suffer you like you do in the flesh. Yes, you do. You crucified Jesus years ago. This already
happened. He bled for you so that you may believe. And you're still doing it to the children. You're still crucifying people. You're still scapegoating. There are articles that I have shared with you about scapegoating among us in the churches. Okay? How unrealistic and hypocritical and unethical and just right down wrong here in America among you Christians. If God had wanted humanity to be in another planet, He would have planted us in another planet. God chose Earth because it is just the right distance from the sun. It is too dark in Mars, too cold, too far from the sun for human life to be human. And for those of you who like creating things, with God's creation, you will be punished. It is punishable when you are taking God's creation and making a mockery out of it. Genetically modifying viruses. I don't even like buying genetically modified food. And I am not at all. How can this Dr. Fauci and his associates, who some of them are not even healthcare professionals, go on a conference and reveal to their colleagues at international level, we are going to be funding work that is published. We're not going to fund anything that's not published. The danger with this, and it's all like, you know, in the out in the open, but not really. The danger with this is that the terrorists can take our data and use it for biological weapons, when they themselves have been genetically modifying organisms to make them stronger. They will come out and say it. Biological weapon in our faces. How is this even American? How is this legal? How is this Christian? You may say, I'm not professional. I will take it. I will take it. But what I am reporting to you here is truth. From my perspective. And the fact that I have a Facebook friend called Gene does not mean that I am saving his photo and that my phone needs to be going haywire. Because just like it went haywire when I was in the middle of a conversation, your phones can go haywire, and before you know it, your photos be deleted and somebody else's stuff be there. So that, oh, we need evidence of who you are. Oh, who is this? Who are these people? You could even have porn that's not even yours. So be careful in advance. I'm warning you. The shuffling of cards that these people are doing, hacking our phones and hacking everything, that's the same mentality behind these bugs that these people have on one another, and the same thing with DHR when they pick up these kids. It's hacking our lives, hacking the children and their future. This is why they don't want people like me who think for myself in the higher places here on earth. No, because I can see right through them and they don't like it. And then it's like, she's not professional, she's not honest, she's not what we're looking for, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't care. Because when there's a will, there's a way.